By now, it is no secret that trading card games have always held a special place in my heart. In this series, Raikourider and myself will be opening 24 packs or one box of a core Yu-Gi-Oh set. We will continue to open a set in chronological order week after week. We will use these cards to construct a deck and then face off against each other in a best 2 out of 3 match. Each match will have 3 prizes up for grabs, with 2 prizes going to the winner and 1 going to the loser. These prizes can range from individual wildcards, to starter or structure decks, to sealed booster packs, or even event cards that were only handed out at select tournaments. However, we cannot rest on our laurels. Between the ever-evolving nature of the Forbidden and Limited list, the cards that we ourselves choose to remove from the game, and the way that the game itself changes throughout the years, all of our matches will increase in complexity and also remain fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Alright, so we managed to take down Morphing Jar, we managed to finally take out that losing streak, and on top of that, we also have ourselves a couple of powerful decks that now are essentially going to be future-proof due to the fact that the next set of bans aren't going to be taking place for a little while. So we're in a good position here. So this is Cosmo Blazer. This set came out in January of 2013, and this set actually introduces a couple of notable archetypes. Specifically, the Fire Fist and the Hazy Flames. Both of these are fire attribute monsters, each with certain effects. Hazy Flame focuses on basically spam summoning level 6 monsters to go into their bosses, and Fire Fists have the effects that kick off whenever they are destroyed, typically in the hand or on the field. So, yeah, there's actually quite a few important cards here to pay attention to on here. And this is going to be a fun set for me just because of the fact that this was actually the only pre-release I've ever attended, and this was the set I was playing in before I took my hiatus, which, considering what came after that, I think was a good idea. So, scrolling down quickly into the comments, there's actually a couple of important comments that we want to see. So, typically, we want to see a lot of the Fire Fist and Hazy Flame stuff. So, Raven for the Fire Fist, as well as, as well as Hawk are going to be important to see. And then we see Hazy Flame Cerberus, Griffin, Sphinx. We definitely want to see playsets of all of these as well. Scrolling down, we see Hazy Pillar, which is basically like one of the cornerstone cards for the Hazy Flame archetype. And we also see Fire Formations. We see Tensu, Tenki. Anyone who's seen anything involving Fire Fist knows what Tenki is. And then they also have Tenkin, which is a pretty good little trap card for that as well. And, interestingly enough, this set also introduces Crimson Sunbird. This is a card that's been around for quite a while in the OCG, but only up until now was an OCG exclusive. It took this long, over about 10 years, for this card to actually get released to the TCG, which is crazy. Looking into the rares, there's again quite a few very notable cards that we want to see. We see Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Gorilla, we see Hazy Flame Periton, and then we see Hazy Flame Basiltris. This is actually one of the key monsters for the Hazy Flame archetype. It requires 2 or more level 6 fire monsters, up to 5. You could detach a material, target a monster your opponent controls or is in their graveyard, and banish it. And then, based on the number of materials this card has, it has a certain effect added to it. If it has 3 or more, it gains 200 attack and defense for each material, which, given the fact that it starts at 2500 attack, if it has 3 material, that's an extra 600 attack and defense, which is pretty good. If this card has 4 or more materials, it can't be destroyed, it can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and then if there's 5 materials on it, it can't be destroyed by card effects, period. Very strong card in general. And even Hazy Flame Basiltris is not the end of it. We still see Hazy Flame Manticore, which is a big card for that. We see Crimson Blader, which is a really solid synchro monster. We see another Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Spirit, which is a pretty good card. And then we actually have Slacker Magician, which is actually a bit of a sleeper card. It requires 2 level 1 monsters. It can't be targeted. It can't be destroyed in battle once per turn. And during either player's turn, when an effect is activated that targets it, you get attached to material, negate that effect, and destroy it. So it's not necessarily a massive card, but the fact that it's a monster that basically has battle protection as well as effect protection as well is pretty important. And granted, yes, it requires 2 level 1s, which is a lot harder to make use of, but even still, this is not a bad card to work with. Looking up into the super rares, we see Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Dragon, and we also see Snake, and we also see Swallow. These are 3 really good cards for the Fire Fist archetype. Unfortunately, this does make the Fire Fist a bit harder to actually work with, just because of the fact that a lot of their cards are higher rarity. But if we could pull these, that'd be very good. And then they also have 2 of their big bosses, which are Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Lion Emperor and Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Horse Prince. A Synchro and an Xyz both, which actually puts that into perspective and is kind of nice because a lot of archetypes, especially around this time, focus entirely on Xyz summoning for their bosses. So some rogue decks would actually focus on stopping Xyz summoning in general or punishing for it. So just the fact that they actually have a Synchro summon for a boss monster is kind of nice too. And then scrolling down into the Ultras, we see Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Bear, as well as Tiger King, and these 2 are going to make summoning this deck a lot harder, but potentially, depending on what we pull in general, we could always look for wildcards for this. And then we also see Lightning Chidori, which is actually a pretty good monster. It requires 2 level 4 wind monsters. Unfortunately, that means that it doesn't work with Black Wings, which sucks, but oh well. And it has the effect that when it's summoned, you get to bounce a set card your opponent controls back to their you get to spin it to the bottom of their deck. And then once per turn, you could detach a material to target a card your opponent controls and bounce it to the top, which is pretty good. And another good ultra rare here is Breakthrough Skill. This is actually a card that still sees play today. So when it's activated, you target a face-up effect monster your opponent controls. That monster has its effects negated until the end of the turn. And then during your turn, except the turn you activated this card, and it goes to the graveyard, you could banish this card to target another face-up monster your opponent controls and negate their effects until the end of the turn. This is actually a really powerful card, and frankly, the fact that it still sees play today is insane when you think about it. And then, looking down, we also see the secret rares as well as the ghost rare. Now, the ghost rare, Heart Earth Dragon, isn't as big of a deal unless you're really trying to run the Heart Earth line. And honestly, it's okay, but I don't think it's necessarily a major boost. But then you look into the secret rares, and we actually have one very notable one. We have Diamond Dire Wolf. This card has the requirement of 2 level 4 monsters, but it has the effect that you could detach a material to target a beast, beast warrior, or winged beast you control, and one other card on the field and destroy them. Now, what a lot of people would use this card for was they would basically use it to pop itself and a card the opponent had. Or, if you're running the Fire Fist, you could basically destroy one of your Fire Fist monsters, pop a card your opponent controls, and then you get the effect off of your Fire Fist. So, you could actually use this effect to basically go +2 or better, depending on what you pop. Or at worst, you're basically going neutral overall. So overall, this set's actually pretty strong. So before we get into the packs though, we have to pull our 3 packs of our tournament pack, which we are now into Astral Pack 1, which the cards themselves are kind of meh, but this is notable because now there are no more rares. You're guaranteed to get at least 2 commons and at least a super rare. So you either get a super rare or an ultimate rare. Looking at the commons, really nothing here that we don't already have. I think we have a playset of pretty much everything here for the most part. maybe not Hyena and maybe not Dragon Ice, because I think Dragon Ice was actually released as a secret rare, and Cyber Shark definitely not, because that was a secret rare as well. But most of the other cards here, either we already have playsets of, or they're not really all that important. But the super rares actually have a couple of good cards. Kagemusha the Six Samurai we already have a playset of, but that's always cool to see anyway. I think we only have one copy of Terraforming, and this actually stays at 3 for quite a while. So, kinda would be nice if we could pick up more copies of that. And then, Gates of Dark World are actually the big one we want to see. This is going to help our Dark World support line pretty good, especially since we got rid of Morphing Jar. This gives all fiends 300 attack and defense, and then once per turn, you could banish a fiend from your graveyard for cost, and then discard a fiend-type monster and draw a card. Which means that this will let us activate a Dark World effect really easily, as well as getting a free draw as well. So, if we could pull any of that, that'd be nice. And then the ultimate rares, really, we don't really care too much. We already have a Tsukiyomi, we have, I believe, 1 or 2 Debris Dragon already, and we already have enough Photon Thrasher to be worth it anyway. So, basically, we want to see Terraforming here, or we want to see Gates of Dark World. So, first pack, and we hit an ultimate rare Photon Thrasher right off the bat. Of course we do. Second pack, okay, we see a Terraforming, good. And third pack, we hit the Kagemusha. Okay. I don't think those are going to matter too much in the long run, but hey, we'll see. Now we can get into our packs. Okay, so we have 24 packs of Cosmo Blazer. Let's just get right into it and see what we can hit. First pack. Okay, very first pack, we see a Hazy Flame Sphinx and a Basilisk, which is good. We definitely want to see at least 1 or 2 of these. Star Drawing's actually a kind of nice card too. If it's used for an Xyz summon, you could treat it as a level 5 monster instead of 4, and it has the effect that any Xyz monster that's summoned using it gives you the ability to draw a card when it's summoned as well. So overall, really good start. Ooh, okay, so we see a super rare in our third pack, full of Prophecy. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure we're not going to make use of this card because it's the spellbooks, which, yeah, we really don't have enough of that to really warrant anything. But nonetheless, kind of neat though. And we see a Fire Formation Tenki and a Tenken, so that's actually kind of good to see as well. Okay, so we see a Hazy Pillar, second Basilisk, we see a Cerberus, another Tenken, and a Tensu, and another Star Drawing. So overall, really good pack right here. Ooh, we get Breakthrough Skill. That's a pretty good one. So this is basically a really good card, even in Modern Era. You get to target a face-up effect monster your opponent controls. That monster has its effects negated for the turn. And then during the turn, during your turn, except the turn this card goes to the grave, you could banish it and basically pull the same effect off again, which is pretty nice. And on top of that, we see another Hazy Flame Griffin, as well as a Fire Fist Hawk and a Fire Fist Spirit. So overall, really good pack. Ooh, Ultimate Rare Lightning Chidori. That's pretty cool. Now, granted, it sucks that it doesn't work with Black Wings because it requires level 4 wind, but this is actually a pretty solid card on its own. And honestly, we might be able to find a use for it somewhere down the line. Meanwhile, we see another Cerberus, another Star Drawing, and another... Oh, wait, this isn't another one. This is our first Gorilla. That's pretty good. Alright, so we're down to the last 3 packs, and honestly, we haven't seen too many in terms of holos, but we've seen a lot of really good commons or rares that we wanted to see. If we could see one more Basilisk in the rare slot, I would be really happy. Flip up, we see another Praeton, which is pretty good, and it looks like that's pretty much it for this pack. Alright, so second to last pack, we're going to flip. We see a hawk, and that looks like that's actually it there. Okay, one more pack. Can we please get a Basiltress for the pair? No, we cannot. We get another Sato, though, and a Tensu. Okay, so you know what? Overall, kind of an interesting pack. We're definitely going to take a look, see what we could come up with, because I have a few decks that are pretty well established at this point, but there's actually some potential here, so we'll check it out, see what we can come up with, and we'll catch you guys in just a few moments. It's time. It's time, everyone. This is the deck we are bringing to tonight's duel, and we finally get to unleash the Sixth Samurai upon Rai. I am ecstatic for this episode. Alright, so for those of you who don't know, the Sixth Samurai is basically my absolute favorite deck of all time. This is basically my pet deck. And Rai really hates the Sixth Samurai in general because of how much of a pain in the ass it is to deal with. So, this is going to be a fun little match. Let's go through the card by card. First off, we have 2 copies of Elder of the Sixth Samurai. This monster has the effect, basically, of Cyber Dragon. If we have no monsters, and the opponent has a monster on the field, we can special summon it from the hand. Basically, we're going to make use of that for the sake of synchro summoning. Then we have 1 copy of Anishi, Shien's Chancellor. It can't be normal summoned or said. It has to be special summoned by banishing 2 6-Ams in our graveyard, which isn't going to be too hard to accomplish. Once per turn, we can target a face-up monster and destroy it. This monster can't attack the turn it activates this effect, but hey, who cares? It's a free face-up pop, and it's a level 6, so we can go into a synchro play afterwards if we want. Then we have 1 copy of Grandmaster of the Sixth Samurai. We get special summon it from our hand if we have a Sixth Samurai monster on the field already. And if this card is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, target 1 Sixth Samurai monster in your graveyard, add it to our hand, which is a good effect. Then we have 3 copies of Kagemusha the Sixth Samurai. This is our tuner. This is going to be our primary goal into getting our monsters. And it has the effect that during each player's turn, if a face-up Sixth Samurai is controlled or targeted by a spell, trap, or card effect that would target it, we can activate this effect to switch that effect to this Kagemusha instead. Now, generally speaking, we are not going to be using this effect much, if at all, but the fact of the matter is, it's level 2, it's a tuner, and it's a warrior. That's important. Then we have 3 copies of Legendary Sixth Samurai Kageki. This one is one of the better of the Legendary Sixth Samurai monsters. When it's normal summoned, we can special summon a level 4 or lower Sixth Samurai from our hand, and while we have a Sixth Samurai with a different name on the field, this card's attack goes up to 1700, which is really good, especially coming up with a card coming up a little bit later. Then we have 3 copies of Sixth Samurai Kizan. This monster has the effect that if you control 2 other Sixth Samurai monsters, including ones of this name, it gains 300 attack and defense. And if you control a different Sixth Samurai, then you can special summon this from your hand. Then we have 3 copies of Maxi, because of course we do. 1 copy of Sangan, 1 copy of Iru. If we have another Sixth Samurai on the field, this monster basically has the Mystic Swordsman level 2 effect. 1 copy of Zanji. If we have another Sixth Samurai on the field, this monster destroys any monster that this card attacks. So we can use this to run into a defensive monster that can't be destroyed in battle and pop that effect automatically. 1 copy of Witch of the Black Forest can search out most of our monsters here. And then we also have for our spells 2 Asceticism of the Sixth Samurai. This is where Kageki's effect kicks in. This lets us target 1 Sixth Samurai we control, and then we can summon a Sixth Samurai from our deck with the same attack power, but a different name, and if we do, we destroy it during the end phase of the turn. So, what this means is, if Kageki's on the field with another Sixth Samurai and its attack is 1700, we get Asceticism, summon out Iru, and bam, we have ourselves another monster to work with, and basically, we fulfill Iru's condition. Then we have Gateway of the Six at 1 copy. This card is basically what makes the Sixth Samurai feared. This has the effect that every time a Sixth Samurai is normal summoned or special summoned, we get 2 Bushido counters on this card. If we remove 2 Bushido counters, we get to target a Sixth Samurai or Shien effect monster, give it 500 attack for the turn. If we remove 4 counters, we can add a 6 Samurai from our deck or graveyard to our hand. Generally speaking, we will use this to add a bunch of Kizans back to our hand and keep summoning them out. And then we could remove 6 counters to target a Shien monster in our graveyard or on the... a Shien effect monster in our graveyard and special summon it. So, needless to say, this card is going to be a huge powerhouse for us. We have 1 copy of Giant Trunade to help blow away the back row and get our attacks in. 3 MST, same reason. 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Reinforcement of the Army to bring out pretty much every main monster in our deck except for Grandmaster and Anishi. And then 2 copies of Shien Smoke Signal. This lets us add a level 3 or lower 6 Samurai from our deck to our hand. Basically, this is 2 extra copies of Rhoda, but more or less. We can use this to pick up a Kageki, or we could pick up a Kagemusha if we already have Kageki in our hand. And then 3 copies of 6 Samurai United. This is basically Karakuri Anatomy already. Every time a 6 Samurai is normal or special summon, place a Bushido counter. You can send this card to the graveyard, draw a card for each counter on it. And fun fact, Gateway of the 6 only requires you to remove Bushido counters from your field, not from this card specifically. So if we have a bunch of these on the field, we can actually remove the counters off of them for the effects, get those effects, summon more 6 Samurai, and then get more counters here, which then we can send off for our Pot of Greed. Then for our traps, we have 1 Breakthrough skill. This will be a very nice little surprise on Rai. 2 copies of Double-Edged Sword Technique. This card lets us pick 2 6 Samurais in our graveyard, special summon them in attack mode. During the end phase, we destroy them and then take damage equal to their attack. That is probably not going to be happening because the idea is going to be either summon back a Kageki and Kagemusha to get a level 5, or even summon out 2 monsters of the same level and we could go into an Xyz play. Then we have 1 Musakani Makatama. If your opponent activates a spell or trap or monster effect that destroys a card while you control a 6 Samurai, you get to negate that card and destroy it for free, which is really nice. And finally, we have 2 copies of Sakuretsu Armor. Rai's been worried about this card for a while. It's about time we actually show that we do have that. For our side deck, we have 1 Cyber Dragon, 1 Glowbulb, 2 copies of Junk Synchron. Now, Junk Synchron's here for 2 reasons. Number 1, we actually have a pretty good Synchro monster that we can make use of with this card, which we'll get to in a minute. And 2, we can actually bring back a Max C if we need to, so if we need an extra level 2 monster for any reason, this is a good way to bring that monster back and get some use out of it. Then we have 1 Plague Spreader Zombie as usual, 1 Book of Moon, 1 Cold Wave. This can help push for the end game. 1 Dark Hole, 2 copies of System Down in case he's running back Karakuri, 1 Breakthrough. This card lets us target a 6 Samurai, and if that monster destroys a monster in battle, then our Great Shogun Shien, which unfortunately we don't have, and all of our 6 Samurai monsters we control can attack the opponent directly. Which is pretty nice. That means that we don't actually have to get through everything Rai has, we would just have to get through one of his little weenies and let our monsters clear through. And then we have 2 copies of Magic Cylinder, 1 Solemn Warning, and 1 Starlight Road. For our extra deck, we have our typical gambit of Black Rose Dragon, Colossal Fighter, Goyo Guardian, Scrap Dragon, Stardust Dragon, Thought Ruler Archfiend, but we also have Junk Destroyer. This card requires Junk Synchron and 1 or more non-tuners. It's level 8, and it has the effect that when it's synchro summoned, you can pop cards on the field up to the number of non-tuners used to summon it. So, again, if we bring out Junk Synchron, and we get out, say, the Max C, and we have another level 3 monster, we could get out to Junk Berserker, or Junk Destroyer, destroy 2 cards, and we have a 2600 attacker. And then we have the boss monster of the 6 Samurai, Legendary 6 Samurai Shien. This card has the effect that once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate that card and destroy it. And then if this card would be destroyed by a battle or a card effect, we could destroy another 6 Samurai we control instead to protect it. So, this is going to be a huge card, and a good way to deal with a lot of Rai's problems. And then for our Xyz lineup, we have Abyss Dweller, Blade Armor Ninja, which is actually a pretty solid card for here. It requires 2 level 4 warriors, and then you can detach a material, target a ninja you control, and it can attack twice during the battle phase. Basically, we detach, target itself. Blade Armor Ninja can attack twice, which is good. Then we have Cowboy. Then we have Heroic Champion Excalibur. If we detach 2 materials, his attack becomes double its original, so 4,000 for a turn, which is pretty good. Number 16, Shockmaster. If we could get this out, then this is going to really piss Rai off. Then we have number 17, Leviathan Dragon, and Wind-Up Zen Mines. So, yeah. This was a bit of a long deck profile, but that's because this deck is such a big powerhouse, and it can really make a difference. So, let's get straight into it, guys. It is time to duel.
We are almost at the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ready
Yep.
for the very last match before the end of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what this is going to be, is it's going to be the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! As we know it.
For what will probably not be the last time at that.
I mean, how many times have we had the end of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Quite
I think
a few.
this is the third time. I think this is the third time in Prague that we've had the end of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Something like that.
It's been a lot.
Oof.
That's a great start.
That's not good for me.
I will take the play while we still have first turn draw. Good luck, duelist.
Good luck.
I will draw for the turn, proceed to the standby phase, proceed to the main phase. I am going to start the game by setting a pair.
Interesting. Alright. I'll draw. Standby main. Well, good way to start the turn.
Seems reasonable.
Ooh, okay. Let's see. The question is, what the hell do you have set? Do I want to... The question is, do I want to get greedy now? You only have one face down. You know what? Why not? If it's a torrential, it's a torrential. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm going to start by activating Reinforcement of the Army.
Back on... Well, Rhoda doesn't really tell me anything. Rhoda's just a good card. That's fine.
Let's see. I think... Well, Rhoda's not going to tell you anything, but this sure as hell will. I'm going to add Legendary 6 Samurai Kizan.
Ah, finally on the Sams, are you?
You have no idea how many wild cards I had to burn to get this running. I'm going to activate 6 Samurai United.
That's reasonable. Alright, time for me to lose a bunch of episodes now.
Yep. Time to activate Smoke Tingle.
Yep. Yep.
We will add Kageki to my hand.
Well, here we go.
I will normal summon Kageki.
On summon, I'm gonna space the 6 Samurai United.
Ooh, okay. I will special summon my Kagemusha.
Alright, well, here we go.
I will special summon Grandmaster.
Gross, dude.
I will special summon Kizan.
Am I dead?
I don't think you're dead, but I will summon out my Shien.
Sure, yup. I mean, that card is very fair.
Battle. 21 in.
It's Westlow.
Westlow. Evil Tiles! What the... Oh, this is interesting.
What do I get with this is the question. I'll just get Elias effect.
Let's see. Alright.
I just want to put things in front of my face.
Fair enough. Wait, what the hell? Wait a second.
It's 1900 if you special it.
Okay, that's weird that... Oh no, it only loses it if it's special summoned by an evil tile.
It was.
No.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Wait, no, it wasn't. You're right.
Okay, that is weird. That is like anti-synergy. What the hell?
Yeah, let's put that in attack then.
Okay, that is odd.
Reading cards.
All right, well, I guess Xian will just have to clear into the Terius then.
Sure, I take 100.
I'm actually really surprised that it loses power if it's summoned that way. Like, you would think it'd be the opposite. Alright, anyway, main 2. I'll pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. How do I beat Xian?
Oh, now look who's digging through the extra deck.
How do I beat Xian is the question. I think I know how I beat Xian. I'm gonna normal summon Summoner Monk effect.
Summoner Monk. Alright. Interesting.
Oh, I know how to read. Why is this deck so bricky?
Alright, draw, standby main. Unfortunately, that does not help me as much as I would like. Okay. I'm going to run out my Witch of the Black Forest.
Yep.
Battle phase. Keys on into the Summoner Monk.
That's fine.
Xian will hit into Elias.
And then 32.
Main phase 2, I will set 1 card and pass it to you.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase, and Xian is just too big.
Woo! Okay.
That's what Xian does.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it does.
It makes Xian so consistently, too.
Yeah, there's a reason Xian ended up getting limited real quick on the list.
I'm just gonna set a bunch of cards.
Alright. Draw. Standby, main. I think I'm just going to set a card and set another card and set a third, and I'll pass.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Westlow.
That's good. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, you're using it, effect.
Westlow effect.
Chain Maxi.
Maxi is fine. I'm gonna grab Diplo.
Alright, so
Diplo.
Draw.
Diplo effect. Target that.
That is fine. It is my Musakani Magatama.
Okay, that's fine. And you're gonna laugh at this next card. You're gonna laugh so hard. I'm gonna normal summon Mammoth Graveyard.
Mammoth Graveyard? Okay, that's interesting. Not gonna lie, I actually forgot Mammoth Graveyard was in the core set Legend of Blue Eyes and not just the Yuki deck.
It's gonna be Leviathan. You're gonna draw a card.
Alright.
I'll detach Westlow.
Okay, so it's 25.
Battle.
Alright.
25.
It is my witch, so I
Sure.
will get a monster.
That's fine.
Question is, who do I want to get? I think I'm going to get my... I'm gonna get my keys on.
I figured. 16.
Alright, 16 in.
Main 2, I'm just gonna pass.
Okay. During the end phase, let's go fishing. We're gonna MST, target the back row, middle.
Kidding me. It's warning.
Ooh, I got a good one. Alright, draw. Standby main. That's even better. I will...
I mean, Shien still that's fine. Shien still doesn't out Leviathan Dragon.
It doesn't, which is kind of a problem. Let's see. I could... Okay, that actually could be a thing. The question is, do I want to do that thing? Well, I kind of feel like I have to. Well, I say I feel like I have to, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I probably should. I'm gonna add Kagemusha, the Six Samurai.
Yup. I mean, obvious Shien is obvious.
Unfortunately, not necessarily. Let's see. I do have that option. Okay. I'm going to run out my Kagemusha, the Six Samurai.
Sure, show me your million special summons you have in your hand.
I have my
There's
keys
one.
on. And then...
So that makes Goyo, I guess?
It does make Goyo.
Goyo Guardian's fine.
Okay. Then... do I want to do that, is the question. Well... I feel like I have to. Alright, I'm gonna banish Kagemusha and Kizan.
Oh, you have a Nishi?
I have Inishi, Shien's Chancellor.
Have you normal summoned yet? I think you have.
Yes I did, it was
Yeah,
Kagemusha.
I'm gonna torrential this.
Okay.
I'm not super happy about it, but...
And I will have to pass.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Alright, 64. Normal Serato.
Okay.
Call of the Haunted for Diplo.
I'm going to maxi that.
Sure. That's fine. Battle, 16 and 19.
So, okay, so 35.
Main phase 2. Lagia.
Lagia, okay.
You will get to draw off Maxi, unfortunately. Then I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main.
Couldn't keep me off Lagia, could you?
No, I couldn't, unfortunately, and that's gonna make this a challenge.
That was a craft pretty early on.
I'm not surprised. Let's see.
Like, Lagia is disgusting.
Trying to think of how I can do this. Or if I can even do this. Okay. I'm gonna set a few cards and pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Normal Witch of the Black Forest.
Okay.
Let's go to battle.
Alright.
I am going to hit with Lagia into your set.
That is my Sangin.
Sangin's fine.
Alright. Who do I want to add? Okay. That's gonna be it. This is really a tough one. I'm going to add my Elder of the Six Samurai to my hand.
Seems okay. And then 11 direct.
Okay. 11 direct.
Main 2, I'm going to set an additional card. And ship the turn.
End phase, I will MST that.
It's call.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main. Ooh, that's not bad.
Boy, isn't it great for that card to be at multiple copies.
Yeah. Okay, so because you have a monster and I don't,
Yep,
Elder.
that's an Elder.
Then I'm going to summon out my Kageki.
Kageki is fine.
Use his effect.
Yeah, Kageki's fine.
Bring out Zanji.
That is... Wow, that's rough. Wow, this sucks.
Is the summon of Sanji good?
You have one back row? I mean, the Zanji's gonna kill... The Zanji is going to, kill the Lagia is the issue. Through combat. Unfortunately, I think I have to Lagia the Zanji.
Okay. Let's see. That will be fine. I will activate Asceticism of the Six Samurai, targeting Elder.
Yup. I knew it was bait, but there's not much I could do about it.
Well, the nice thing is that, like, if I needed to, I could have chained Asceticism to Zanji and get a Keyzon out. just
Yup.
as a backup, but I needed to find a way to get rid of those materials just for safety.
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot I could do because you're gonna get to Shien either way. This just makes you exhaust more materials to get to Shien.
True. Let's see. Question now. See, this is a tough question, really. You're on one card plus whatever which will give you when it dies. As much as I don't like... Okay. It's a bit greedy, but I think I have to go for it. I'm going to sink off for an 8.
What 8 are you making?
I'm going to make...
Stardust?
Let's see. Oh! Actually, okay, I was going to make something else, but I could actually make Thought Ruler and give myself a little bit of a life point boost.
Oh, that's actually sick.
Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Let's knock over the Logia.
Take 3, you'll gain 24, which is huge.
That actually helps quite a bit, not gonna lie. Main phase 2, I will set one card and I will throw it to you.
Card for turn, standby phase, main phase. I have Smashing Ground for the Thought Ruler.
And unfortunately, it does not target.
That does not target.
So, but that actually means that I'm actually really glad I did that then, instead of my other choice, which was just going to be pure Oonga Boonga.
Go to battle.
Alright.
11.
So 11 in.
Go ahead. Very simplified game state we have here.
Yes, it is. And that is not quite what I wanted to see.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Battle.
Yep.
11.
Another 11 in.
Main 2, I'll set one. Go ahead.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Thank God. That is probably the best card I could have drawn.
That's gross.
Let's see what I get.
Where's mine?
Ooh, actually, that kind of helps a lot. Well, okay, it helps a lot, but it's not enough to actually do anything. Let's see, you have one Solemn in there. I cannot remember if Solemn... Wait, no. You have Judgment. That matters.
Warning. Yeah, Warning is limited.
Oh, God, I really don't want to do that.
At least I think Warning is limited at this point.
It might be, but I honestly don't remember.
I know Judgment is. I know Judgment's limited. So you don't have to worry about more than one of those.
Oh, man. I guess I gotta put you on Gotta Have It. I'm gonna summon out Kagemusha the Sixth Samurai.
You got it.
I will Asceticism.
You got it.
So I will bring out another Elder.
Yep, here he comes. Sure.
Okay, not gonna lie, I did not think to get this. I did not think I was gonna get this far.
I didn't. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the Shien is gonna stick.
All right, so let's hit
14.
the 6. Yep.
14 in. Boop 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 boo. Witch dies. You probably know what's coming.
Ah, god damn that thing.
I mean, if I'm playing dinosaurs, why wouldn't I be playing Derp Rabbit?
Good point.
Card for turn. Standby phase. Main phase. Well, I'm gonna make you use it.
Yeah, I have to, because... Yeah, you can't attack with it, but it just means you pull over your second Logia with Rabbit and just murder me.
Okay, Rabbit.
Alright.
Rabbit effect.
I guess the question is it Sabersaurus or Cobblezols?
Neither.
Graveyard? Wait, what the hell are you
Oh,
making?
shoot, I've already used it. And actually, I don't think I have a rank 4 that gets... I don't have another rank 4 that gets over Shien anyway. So I can, at the very least, get...
I was gonna say, I assume you have Zen Mines, at least.
Oh. I knew I should have just looked at my extra deck first. Do you care if I get level 4s instead?
I don't care. Go right ahead.
Thank you.
That's what I was expecting in the beginning anyway.
Thank you. I completely forgot that I had used my number 17 already. It is going to be Sabers.
So
Then we are going to
three Mammoth Graveyard.
We are going to overlay for Utopia.
Oh right, I forgot you had that thing.
Then I'm going to go to battle, and I'm going to attempt to crash with the Shien.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't like that, but...
Main 2, I'll set one. Go ahead.
Alright. Draw.
And you said the Xyz rule wouldn't matter.
Yeah. Well... Unfortunately, I don't have enough to cover it.
Content! I was not expecting to get this far.
Alright, let's take the play.
You being on the play is scary, though.
It is. Okay, so draw. Standby, main. Let's see. What do I want to do to begin with here?
The question is more, what is your path to Shien?
Yeah, that's the real one.
It's not the question of whether you can make Shien, is what is your path to Shien, because that deck is ridiculously consistent.
Okay. I'm going to start by setting a card, and then I'm going to summon out my 6 Samurai Zanji.
That's a Zanji.
Then I'm going to just pass.
Yeah, that does not look like Shien. Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase.
I wish I could Shien right now, but
Serrato.
Serrato. Okay. Alright, so, Serrato's good.
Mindcon.
Ooh. Yeah, that's good. So that'll go there. On resolution, I'm On resolution, I'm maxing.
Yeah, that's fine. You can get a card. Just what rank 4 do I want to go into? Obviously, I can't make Logia, but I think I'm just gonna make Utopia. Draw your card.
All right.
Battle.
Yep, 25.
25. Main 2, I'm gonna set a pair. Go ahead.
During the end phase, let's hit this one.
That's Call of the Haunted.
Okay. Draw. Standby, main. Of course you get there now. Well, okay. Actually, that's not the worst thing in the world, I guess? Well, actually it kinda is. Shit. This is gonna be a tough one.
2500 specifically is difficult for Sams to get over.
It kinda is. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna run out my 6 Samurai Kizan.
Kizan's fine.
I will special summon Grandmaster.
Boo. Yeah, Grandmaster's okay.
I will set a card, and I will pass the turn.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Let's go straight to battle.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run over the Grandmaster for 400.
I'm going to Magic Cylinder that.
That is fine. I'm going to ship the turn.
Alright. Draw. Standby main. Okay, that's actually not that bad. That's not the worst. Unfortunately, I can't make use of it at the moment. The question is, what can I do? Well, that does actually open up a door for me. And that actually would be kind of funny. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. And you're probably gonna be surprised by this. I'm gonna normal summon Junk Synchron.
That's not a 6 Samurai tuner.
No, but what it is a recursion with my Max C. But
Wait.
he's not going into anything too special. Just a junk destroyer. Yes, sir.
I never saw that resolved.
Oh. Sorry.
No, like your synchro summon's fine. I'm just saying that Junk Destroyer never resolved.
Ah. Oh, you're gonna solemn it?
Better.
Better.
You may have banned Vanity's Emptiness, but there's still one more special summon floodgate in this format. Get that Junk Destroyer out of here, buddy!
Oh. Interesting.
You forget we hadn't banned this piece of shit yet.
That's because none of us have bothered to use this piece of shit. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna turn that sideways.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I can't believe this is actually going to get mileage, but I'm actually going to normal summon Mammoth Graveyard.
Oh, Oh, that's just salt in the wound.
Battle. I'm gonna do a little bit of cleanup on aisle 5 here.
Alright.
I think this is the first time Mammoth Graveyard has ever gotten a kill in Progression Series, including in LOB format.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Go!
Alright.
What is this game? Are we even playing Yu-Gi-Oh?
We're playing
All
something.
3 games! Finds Pot of Greed, all 3 games.
Okay.
You find Pot of Greed all 3 games and I still win this match?
I'm gonna be mad. Alright, let's smoke signal.
Smoke Signal's fine.
I will add Kagemusha to hand.
Kagemusha's fine.
I will Rhoda.
Rhoda's fine.
Let's see. The annoying part to this is the fact that oppression is not a once per turn.
Correct. Like, this card is such an oppressive floodgate.
It really is. Let's see.
Nice extra deck, idiot!
The problem is, this is also working on the one deck that actually relies on the extra deck. Well, one of the ones that rely heavily on it. Okay. I will add Keyzon.
Keyzon is fine.
Alright. Since you control a monster and I don't.
I will take the 800.
Alright. Let's see.
I gotta keep you off of a board state. Because I think the longer this game goes in the current state, the worse it gets for me.
I think so. Alright, I'm gonna normal summon Keyzon.
That I can't oppression.
And Keyzon's gonna take care of the graveyard.
Sure, that's fine. I take 6.
Alright.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. I do have another one. Because I keep drawing all my garnets, apparently. Battle. 7.
Alright, so 7.
It'll be 7 and 12.
Yeah.
Go.
Draw. Standby, main. Ooh. That does give an option. Okay. Okay. This leads to an interesting question. I'm assuming it doesn't work the way I think it would. Okay. I'm going to set a card, and then I'm going to set a monster and pass.
Card for turn. Standby phase, main phase. Witch of the Black Forest.
Okay.
Battle. I could try to push for lethal here, but that's also really greedy.
I wish you did.
So then this will be 23.
Yep.
Go.
Alright. Okay. I'm going to activate 6 Samurai United.
United's fine.
I will summon Kagemusha.
Not much I can do about that. I mean, you get a draw.
Yes, I do, and I need something.
I think you needed exactly a board wipe.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't do it. I have asceticism, and I drew a Sakuretsu, but that's not enough to protect me.
Yeah, this was a bluff. My hand was Summoner Monk and Elias. So some of the cool stuff that you didn't get to see that actually has really neat synergy with this deck is Element Saurus becomes a 2K with any Evol.
Oh, that's actually kind of neat.
Because I was running out of playable dinosaurs, because there aren't that many playable dinosaurs, since a lot of the good Evolsaurs like Diplo are all at rare, so it makes it difficult to get multiples of them.
Right.
Otherwise, I would be maxing out on Diplo. You might also be wondering why I am playing Mammoth Graveyard instead of Kabazals.
Do you not have any?
I opened one Kabazals, I opened one two-headed King Rex, I opened one Urabi.
Wow. That's surprising. I mean,
yeah, those are all commons.
Now, granted, Mammoth Graveyard's still not a bad one, because, I mean, we both have access to Zen Mines, so, I mean, that's still a thing.
Yeah, Mammoth Graveyard gives me rank 3 plays. What other things that were really... I think you saw most of the deck. I do have 3 Westlow, though.
Interesting.
This is the primary reason why I played the deck, is because of having 3 Westlow. Westlow basically lets me get instant board presence.
Right.
And this card is a super rare, by the way.
Oh. Okay.
It's really good.
That's actually kind of nice to see, then. Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely surprised that I lost that one, especially once you had the floodgate up. I'm definitely gonna have to keep that in mind.
Game 3, you just lost to Oppression, is what happened.
Yeah, which, well, Oppression's probably not gonna last too much longer, because, yeah, I completely forgot that's a thing just because of the fact that we never used it.
It's just a sacky one-of at this point, rather than having to deal with Vanity's emptiness.
True.
The only deck construction issue I had is I wasn't playing enough spells for Summoner Monk. I boarded more spells in, and I still did not have a spell for Summoner Monk.
Right.
But that's all the deck is just rank 4. It's rank 4 spam, and you might also recall that I actually do have an Exabeetle as well.
True.
It shouldn't come up too often, but I can make this off of Elias and just any 6, because this deck actually has quite a few 6s. I really wish I had pulled a Souza, but I did not pull a Souza, unfortunately. Souza is the big boss monster for the archetype, and it's super scary. It's huge, and it's really hard to kill.
Right. So,
but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of surprised that this got there.
Yeah, admittedly, I'm a little surprised too, especially with how Game 1 went so well for me, but I mean, it also didn't help your case that you had bricked pretty hard too, so
I bricked super bad.
I'm sure I'm sure you're aware that I have this, which is part of the reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah, well, obviously you have Gateway, because Gateway had a common reprint somewhere, I believe.
It might have, I don't remember, but I actually had pulled this during Storm of Ragnarok. It was actually one of the few cards out of this deck that I didn't wildcard. I had to wildcard 2 of the Kageki, I had to wildcard all 3 of the Kizan, I had to wildcard both copies of Smoke Signal, and I had to I believe I had to wildcard my Asceticisms too. Like, I pretty much started this deck with nothing.
I mean, that's going to be a terrifying deck, and even banning Shien is not going to fix the deck.
Yeah.
Like they lose a boss monster. And to be fair, also with the consistency issue that you didn't see your Gateway, it took me a lot of effort to see Radit.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Gateway is like intentionally hard to summon, like to find an out to. In fact, it took them until Link era to give them a way to actually get it. And even then, you had to give up 2 6 samurai monsters in order to summon it.
Yeah,
and then discard another card afterwards too. So I mean, it really took an effort.
It's a lot of effort, but the real thing that I was missing to play this deck before was just Rabbit.
So, pull-wise, I actually didn't pull too much. I did get a Lightning Chidori, which was kind of nice, but I don't really have a deck to work with it right now.
Oh my god, the set was so terrible for me. I got 2 of the Noble Knight Xyz.
Ouch. That's kind of rough.
You want to know what else was really crazy? I didn't even get a Tanky until, like, pack 14.
Yeah, Tanky was kind of, like, limiting, like, crazy limiting. I only got 2.
Well, Tanky goes all over the ban list, so
it really
having
does.
2 is fine.
But I also got this, too.
Oh, Breakthrough Skill, sick!
That's like, that was one of the few cards that I was like, the funny thing was, if I couldn't remember for a while if it was this, or if it was Skill Successor. I couldn't remember which one did which one. So I had to read it.
Skill Successor is the combat trick, but Breakthrough Skill's sick. Like, this card's disgusting.
Unfortunately, since it's a one-of, it's going to be a lot harder to make good use of, but it at least can pull a couple of useful things here and there. Now, I did have a thought during the duel of maybe trying to find a way to summon out Shien, because then I could just negate Royal Oppression. The issue was just the fact of, how am I going to get the monsters out to get to Shien?
And at that point, if you Shien to negate Royal Oppression, then I can just make any. Then you destroy Royal Oppression, and then I can just make any Xyz to out the Shien.
Well, not even that. You could just turn around and ram Utopia into it, and that's it too.
No, because you could. Because at that point, you could also. Like, even if you out the Utopia, I can just make any Xyz.
Yeah. But, oh well. It's not like the deck bricked on me, necessarily, so... It does... I do feel like this deck has a good chance of doing something, which is nice.
I still think this was a fantastic set.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot closer than I was expecting it to be. But with that, we have... some business to attend to, so we'll see you for that.
Yep.
And recording has started. So this was a really big duel because there are some very powerful promos that were on the line. There were a couple of magazine promos that we'd like to go over first. The first one is going to be number 50 Black Ship of Corn, and the second is going to be number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Because I have a very powerful rank 4 engine, I would like to supplement that rank 4 engine with a copy of number 50 Black Ship of Corn.
Yep, and honestly, I'm not surprised at all. This is a fairly solid card. This thing saw competitive play when it first came out, and honestly, it's a really good and solid card.
It stays in extra decks for a while, too.
Right, and especially given the fact that it bypasses destruction protection, that really makes a good difference for it.
Oh yeah, it's huge that it can bypass destruction protection, and it's another number monster too, which is very relevant, and which is very relevant through Primal Origin specifically.
Yep. Which means that leaves me with number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings, which is a rank 8, so it's going to be a lot harder to actually try to make a use of this card.
At least it's generic.
Yeah, at least it's generic, so there's always a possibility.
And then we have a third wave of 2012 tins, one of the few times there were 3 waves. And the promos in here are not really that great except for 2 of them. 2 of them are very, very powerful, but the one that I'm most interested in, and as you can imagine, after today's deck being played, the one that I'm going to be interested in most is going to be Photon Strike Bouncer.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not entirely surprised. Honestly,
Photon Strike Bouncer.
The thing I like about this, though, is that at least, yeah, it negates the effect, but it at least doesn't destroy Shien, which is going to be a huge benefit to me. That being said, 2700 versus 2500, I'm going to have to figure something out in that regard.
At that point, I just run over to Shien.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have Steel Swarm Roach, which is a very, very powerful rank 4.
It is, and like it sucks that it's only 1900 attack, but at the same time, it is a pretty solid card on its own. But that being said, though, I don't know, because it's going to be interesting because we are getting to the point where synchro summoning is going to be a little less common, so its effect might not end up being as useful in this regard. But we'll have to wait and see, because it is a good card nonetheless.
And then you obviously have Roach, and then the rest of these cards are not very good. One of them is a Prophecy card, which we're obviously not going to use because Prophecy is one of the highest rarity archetypes in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yep.
And then we won't be able to really play Infernity either. So Endless Decay, at the very least, could be used as a rank 5 engine. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and then you can grab whichever meme card you want.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead with Infernity Barrier because as much as I doubt I'm ever going to make use of this, it at least is a good card and usable, whereas Prophecy Destroyer, even in its own archetype, it's kind of meh.
Oh, it's bad. This is just a terrible card.
Yeah, so I mean, we at least have those going for us.
We do.
And now we have to go into our spins. Do we actually have... Wait, do we have a new side set or no?
We do not have a new side set.
Okay, so it just turns into a case of spinning for whatever we want to get then.
Yep.
Alright, so because we are, again, on the losing side of things, we are at a effective 3 lose streak here, which means we do actually get one spin of the ketchup wheel. God hoping, next episode, we can actually get off of this goddamn wheel for good. But there are a lot of good things here that we could work with, so let's take a spin and see what we can hit. Honestly, I will be happy with just about anything here. Well. Now we gotta think. Okay, so after very much deliberation, I have come up with my 3 decisions. First off, we are going to use one of the wild cards to pick up a copy of Light Ray Greffer. This card is actually a pretty solid card. You could special summon it by discarding a level 5 or higher light monster, and then once per turn you could discard a light monster to banish one from your deck. Basically, it's a light version of Dark Greffer, which in and of itself is a pretty solid card. Given the fact that we have a good light pool, as well as a good chaos pool, Light Ray Greffer could make for a very good pickup for that as well. Now, as for the other 2 wild cards, I've decided we're going to pick up 2 copies of the same card, and we're going to basically hedge our bets a little bit here. The next set is Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, which for those who know how this format went, that's the set with the Dragon Rulers, which are a bunch of level 7 dragons that spam summon themselves, basically. So, we're going to pick up 2 copies of a boss monster that really makes a difference here. And that is this son of a bitch. Number 11, Big Eye. This is basically one of the most infamous monsters for the Dragon Ruler set. It requires 2 level 7 monsters, which is incredibly easy to pull off, and it has the effect that once per turn, you can detach a material to target a monster your opponent controls and take control of it. And then it just means that it can't attack that turn. But that's not really that big a deal. This card is mega nuts. And there is one other monster that is well known and infamous for being a boss monster with the Dragon Rulers. However, it is available in the next set, and I believe it is a secret rare in that as well, so we'll just have to wait and see if we could get lucky on that. But with 2 copies of Big Eye, I feel like we're going to have a pretty decent advantage if we pull enough Dragon Rulers. Unfortunately, that does put in a bit of a pickle for us, simply because of the fact that it requires us having enough Dragon Rulers to make it worth it, which is the big concern. Because they're all rares, and it's going to be kind of worrisome if we don't pull enough of that. But we're going to hope, and with 2 copies of this, we're going to try to hedge our bets on that. With that being said, though, this was a great episode, and we're about to go into hell. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We will catch you guys next time.